All right. Give me a moment, you guys. Okay, I'm doing some things in the back. Ooh. Okay, welcome. I am here. Let me turn this off. Still not finished. Okay, let me do this real quick. There you go. That's better. Okay, so how you guys doing? It's very early in the morning, but this is the time that I really got to myself, with work and life and everything. But I want to address something very quickly. So this should be a short live, but thank you guys so much for joining me. And what is up to my replay gang? If you are not subscribed to the channel, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Okay, here we are. It's my channel is called The Goings over here, and I'm trying to get my numbers up, guys. Okay, so I'm like at about like 140 something. So I'm trying to reach 200. I'm on the road to 200. Let me turn this off. This is distracting. Okay, so with the recent events of what I've been following in the B sector, there's been like the whole conversation about mods and the relationship that mods have to content creators. And it kind of gets tricky a little because some mods are content creators. So they wear both hats or whatever. So it made me think about some things. And I'm like, yo, I never really like stopped to have like a conversation like with my mods so that they know their place with me, working for me on my channel, you guys. So I just kind of wanted to address that. Like, because every content creator has their own style, and their own way of and what they want from their mods. So now, like, okay, so my history with mods, I'm just gonna call it okay. I'm not going to lie to you guys and say it's been great or whatever, but I've been a content creator for a minute, and the original mods that I or people that I modded, they're not really like around. Now I never have taken a mod stick or anything like that, have gotten into a fight or banter back and forth with my mods because I always hand over these mod sticks to people who I love or like. Um, and so these are people, yeah, like who I just have a positive rapport. And so, like, no, I don't foresee like us falling out or anything like that. But you never know what the future brings. But recently, like, I have handed out some mod sticks or whatever, and I'm totally satisfied with these mods. They make a point to come around when they can or whatever. They haven't like abandoned me. Like some of my mods I see on other people's channels, just as viewers or whatever. But they don't come out. I'm talking about the people in the beginning who I modded up or whatever. But I've never taken a mod stick. So that's one thing about me. But for my mods, I value them and I want them to be um safe in a sense, you know. And there's no reason, like with the powers that they have, that I would try to snatch those powers away. And I'm not saying that they're free to do any and everything on my channel, but I think I'm a little open than some people. Um, so I want them to have a pleasant experience. You understand? Yeah. So having said that, I don't want others like if there's trolls or different antagonists or negative people coming around like insulting them, you know, saying making vile comments and remarks towards them, you know, and trying to get that edge like over here in this space. I'm not for that. I don't want that for my mod. So um yeah, they're free to use their mod sticks. Um, but of course they know that there's more that they can do than block. You understand what I'm saying? Like they could time out. And I will hope that that will be their first response towards someone, that they would just time them out or whatever. They wouldn't have to warn them for a timeout. But if you're going to for a block because someone is insulting you, I'm not against that. You know, just give a warning would be my thoughts or whatever. That's my way over here on my channel. Give them a warning before blocking them. But to time someone out, no. But I don't really have that type of atmosphere. But if someone was attacking me, I would say wait for me to say block them, like before you block them. Just don't block them. And the reason I say that is because I don't really like want you guys like jumping the gun to fight for me. And I tolerate I tolerate trolls. Like and I've had trolls in the past. Like and this is I guess this is more so for my new moderate mods or whatever. But yeah, like I kind of tolerate trolls. Like I have had trolls in the past that have come here and insulted me or whatever. And of course, you know, I had the power to block them or to time them out, which I didn't or whatever. I just gave them the space to do what they do because I knew they were trolls, you know. So I'm just trying to like let them do enough talking to hang themselves or whatever, or enough talking to reveal themselves. Some people don't realize that when they think they're hiding behind troll accounts, that there's certain things that they do and say that kind of gives you a clue who it might be. So I kind of let them just go on and go on. So I had a couple trolls here in the past, whatever. And people would say, "Why don't you block them?" But I didn't even feel a need to because they weren't hitting hard enough. You understand? It wasn't impacting me hard enough. So while you know, I leave it open that you could, you know, wield your mod stick to defend yourself, but don't be so quick to do that. Like if someone is attacking me, and of course, that's not totally absolute. Like if someone came over here and decided to attack me because I'm saying just the love, and if someone decided to attack me with a homophobic slur or something, like that's someone that don't need to be over here. It's like, why are you over here? Like if you feel that way about me, why the hell are you over here? It's my question or whatever. So yeah, but I would just say still kind of like if they're attacking me, just kind of like wait for me to say something or whatever, because it is a lot that I do tolerate. I'll just kind of like sit in it or whatever, just to kind of figure out like, yo, like what is this person's like end game? So that's how I feel, you guys, because I decided to address that because of the conversations that's been going on. And I noticed like, yo, I never really like had a talk. So just in case people my minds are not clear, they can be clear and say, hey, I heard from y'all main himself, and this is what he said. So keep that in mind if you can remember, because some of my minds mind for the damn world, like everybody. So if you can remember that for me or whatever. So that's what I wanted to address. There's something else I wanted to get to, you guys. Let's see. Okay, so I caught up. Oh shit. Whew, got a little bit indigestion. So I caught up with the conversation that was had between Rodney, I think some people call him Mod, and with Juicy Booty, you guys, with the pompous Passa. I'm talking about Jay Wilson, aka James Will Sucker Cock. Yeah, bro. But it was interesting. Inside this conversation, Rodney did call out the passer. I didn't say don't switch my words. I didn't say he dragged him. I didn't say he cussed him out. I said he called him out. He called him out on some true shit. I was kind of like waiting for that moment. I don't know what took him so damn long, but it was like a conversation on a live that they had about 5 days ago. The live went for about an hour and 22 minutes, if I can recall, whatever. And throughout the entire conversation, Juicy Booty was like gaslighting the F out. Like he was gaslighting, and he was over talking them. We know about like how he over talks people. He really was like making it difficult for Rodney to get a word in edgewise because he kept speaking about over him. And he was kind of changing his words, or making arguments that wasn't exact to Rodney's words and almost acting as if he wasn't hearing Rodney. So it kind of caused Rodney to repeat himself and shit, like the pastor's so used to doing, repeating himself. But it kind of made him do that. But that's called a straw man argument. When people don't go on what you say and they kind of like twist what you said to mean something else and then make an argument against that thing, which is not even a real thing. That's called a straw man argument, and that's a whole logical fallacy. Um, the pastor, especially in argument, he's not as in control as he think he is, and he's not as detached emotionally as he claim he is, whatever. But a lot of emotion, like when I watched him over the years or whatever, when he's in argument, and he can get very emotional at times in arguments, and he can just kind of like lose sight of logic and reason and shit like that. I can remember, and he kind of like stretched the truth about what he claims, like how he deals with people when, like, the choice to block or not to block. And, just like, oh, I only block people when they do that. Not true. On my first channel, I would go over to Juicy Booty's chat or whatever. And, I keep it real. Like, he's not my favorite or whatever, but I would go over there to his chat. It was a lot of people over here who I did like. And I can remember the first time that he had glitter boots. Grumpy Gums, y'all know what I'm talking about. CX dude or whatever, that old man. But yeah, it was the first time he allowed um, glitter boots on his panel. And they were talking some biblical shit. And in that argument, I typed in the chat George Villiers, Robert Carr, and Esme Stewart. These are three like historical figures or whatever. Like if you know, you know. I'm not going to spoon feed everybody and hold people's hands or whatever. I mean, if you guys don't know and you're interested in knowing, you could just simply look it up. But they were the lovers of a particular person in history. So I had typed that in the chat, and I could see the pass and this bloated ass reach over to like his block button, and I was blocked. And that was like from my first channel. I also got blocked by my second channel, and it was because I was being flippant. I made a flippant remark or whatever towards him, but I did not use an insult. There was no like insult like in my post, in my typing or whatever. I didn't use that. There was no name called, in other words. And I still got blocked. That was like from my second channel, whatever, the one that was taken from by YouTube. But yeah, so yeah, he does block people for frivolous reasons. You know, especially if if he feels threatened by you, he will block you or whatever. And the big thing is, I feel like he blocked me when I mentioned George Villiers, Robert Carr, and Esme Stewart, because like in certain, it pertained to the conversation he was having on the panel. But if y'all know anything about the pastor, the pompous pastor, he has a bloated sense of importance, and he likes to be seen as the smartest person in the room. And if sometimes if you get in the way of that, like he'll have an issue, and he'll see you as a threat. And with some weak people, they do one or two things when they think they're coming into a threat. They remove themselves from the threat, or they'll remove the threat itself. And that's what he did. Anyway, I want to get back on topic, going back to Rodney. Rodney got to call his vlog godmother out, Jay Wilson. And I have a little clip of that, you guys. I'm gonna get right to that. But just know that the pastor throughout the hour and 22 minutes or however long the live went, he kept over talking him. He was double talking. He was very condescending, of course. You can't leave that out. He was facetious at times, very redundant, and arrogant. I mean, I have to say that. I have to say that. Hey, what's up, Carrie? That's my other mod. Welcome. Thank you. Nothing bad happened, but I just want to I wanted to highlight to my mods. Thank you so much for being concerned. I forgot my title, and I'm going to change the title too once I get off. But I want to address my mods because like I haven't been everywhere in the sector, but one thing I kept running into was a discussion of that about mods and what they should do, and the rapport, the relationship that they have to the content creators. And, then it's been like recently, like mods have been falling out and getting their mod six snatched and shit like that. And like I've handed out like a number of mod sticks, like to a number of mods that don't even come around me no more. And I never took my sticks though. Like that never like really entered my mind or whatever. But I do see them like in other people's chats at times, and I'm like, damn, like where you been? Like, and how come you don't drop in anymore? But again, I guess they have their own reasons. This is my like mentality. This is how I am, you know. So I kind of like chalk it up as like my loss, you know what I mean, and a misgiving on my part, you know what I mean. But let me show you guys what Rodney did when he called out the passer, and he called them out on some true shit. And again, um, he did not drag him, and I'm not saying he dragged. He didn't cuss him out, and and I'm not saying he cussed him out. He just simply called him out on his ish. And it's about time that somebody called him out. But let me get to this shit. Let you guys see it because you probably missed it, but I was on it. Let's get it.
No, you can have an opinion about me. You can show enough have an opinion about me. I don't care about that. If you cuss me out, I'ma cuss you out. You see what I'm saying? You gonna respond to that. Everybody gonna respond to being cussed out. Most of the time. Now, sometimes we'll let it go, but most of the time when you being cussed out, you gonna respond to that. They're just
Not
human
all the
nature.
time. I used to, but
Not all the time, but that's human. I'm trying to tell you that's human nature, Jay Wilson. If
no, it comes with age. It comes with age and experience, and you weren't
I want to stop it right there. There's more, but I would like to just point out the straw man argument. I told you, like, Pastor, like, he gets emotional, like, in debates or argument or whatever. And what he did was not listen to what Rodney, the arguments that Rodney was saying. Rodney said most of the times, and he said it multiple times, multiple meaning more than one. And he was like, most of the times, this is what you're going to do. And then Pastor responds, not all of the time. Pastor, who you think you arguing with? No one said all except for you. So you're arguing with yourself. That's called a straw man argument. And it's a logical fallacy. You see what I'm saying? This dude, he's not as bright as he thinks. You know, that it's this whole self-aggrandizement thing that he does with himself or whatever. He has a bloated sense of self. But he's not as bright as he think he is. But let me play that again. I'm sorry, you guys, for breaking that up. I shouldn't have.
No, you can have an opinion about me. You can show enough have an opinion about me. I don't care about that. If you cuss me out, I'ma cuss you out. You see what I'm saying? You gonna respond to that. Everybody gonna respond to being cussed out. Most of the time. Now, sometimes we'll let it go, but most of the time when you being cussed out, you gonna respond to that. They're just
Not
human
all the
nature.
time. I used to, but
Not all the time, but that's human. I'm trying to tell you that's human nature, Jay Wilson.
no, it comes with age. It comes with age and experience, and you won't realize that something ain't worth it. Like I said, honey, them cussing me out and calling me stuff ain't stopped that shit from hitting that bank one time. Okay, it didn't stop. No, look, the car still crank. Okay, the sun still
right,
shining.
Jay Wilson. But I done seen people come at you and you responded though, Jay Wilson.
It depends on how well. This depends on what I want to do, and I get you, Rodney. But I don't. Let me say, like with a mind sick or something. My thing is, I do respond, but it has to be a strategic response. Even when I cuss people out, it's a strategic response, and it's more proactive than reactive. And if it's reactive, I already made up in my mind I was pissed off at that person. Anyhow, let me go ahead and get a reaction. But it's a done deal. It's a one and done, and that's it. But hey, everybody got to do what they got to do. Now, Rodney, I'm not saying what you did is right or wrong. I'm just saying that you don't.
Okay. What is up, Carrie? Oh, yeah, you're right. Thanks for the reminder. It's not on this here channel. Okay. So I haven't been able to mod you up here yet. But you guys hear that little snippet and how the pastor was going on and on and on. You hear that, right? And so he originally and he actually said it, he got it out, but I guess he corrected himself. So, but he said, no, I don't do that. But then he had to admit, like, oh, well, yeah, I do that. But then he had to find like something that differs. And the pastor's mind, I'm not saying it differs. But he was like, no. But I do it when it's more proactive than react. You see? You see what I'm saying? And he said, and the strategic on my part. Well, Pastor, the only reason you're calling it strategic is because you decided in your mind it was strategic. Who's to say that when Rodney willed his mod stick, that he's not doing it in a strategic way? You. And then, like with the gaslighting and shit, like you was like, no, I think age is a factor. You just got to get older. No. No, you don't. No, you don't. Like you're saying that as an old man. Like you're saying that. And you're like, you just gotta give it some time. Like playing on the fact that I guess you consider him a newbie or whatever, and you're like, no, you gotta be here longer and you'll think different. That was your whole conversation, a whole hour and 22 minutes. Like of everything that Rodney was expressing to you. Like, no, if you was here longer, you would think different. Not true. I've been here long enough. Put all my years here. Like, and I don't think that way. And I'm not going to think that way. And I don't like when older people do that. Like, yo, like in some years you're gonna do what I do. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna bring the lube or none of the things you do. Like none of the things you do, bro. Like people just have to accept that people are different. You got to meet people where they are. And you just can't go through life with this attitude like, well, when you get my age or if you remain in the B sector long enough, you're gonna operate this way. No, you can't show that. And the pastor is not in a position to show that. You can't prove anything like that. Some people are just different. And people like Pastor, y'all need to get over that. Like, people are different. Like, everybody's not the same. And everybody's not going to move in your direction. Some people are actually going to deviate away from your direction. You know, such is life. You know what I mean? Such is life. And I don't understand why it's so difficult for the pastor to understand that. Like, that's very like elementary and basic. Like when you learn people, but perhaps the pastor need to get out enough, you know, maybe outside the church or whatever. Let's see. Leave me alone. I'm off of here. Wait a minute. Oh shit. I had to do what I had to do, yo. Let me take this shit down. Okay. It's not a game though. It's so not a game. But yeah, Rodney called him out. And you can tell like he was like taken aback a little. He was kind of like knocked off a little, like, whoa, like, yeah, you pastor, like we all watch you. Like, yeah, like we see people take you out of body at times. Like I remember the time when you had flipped out and called that woman a bitch, like out of nowhere, whatever. And it was like the world stopped. You see what I'm saying? You know how like the needle go off the record? Yeah, like people was like, oh, is that Mr. Clergyman saying that or whatever? But you guys, I ain't on my way out of here. Please do me a favor and like the video. Okay? Please do that for me. And please do this. Don't take this for granted. Comment in the comment section. Okay, I'm very engaging. I will not ignore it. Ignore it. I'm going to get to every comment. And please subscribe to the channel. The channel is The Goins, and I am your host, Charmaine. I'm on my way out of here. Thank you guys so much for dropping in. Okay, let me find my outro so I can be out of here.